What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about your injury or illness and what it's trying to teach you. And I thought it would be perfect to talk about this because I'm a little under the weather. I have a sinus infection and I'm one of those people that never get sick. And I know and believe that when we get sick, yeah, you could catch something that's going around. We have COVID going on. But anytime you get sick or injured, and it could be just a little cough or like I have, or it could be a very serious illness or disease or injury, all of it is there to teach you something about yourself. There's a lesson in there. There is something in there that is going to make you evolve and be a better person. And before I get into that quickly, welcome to LaurenClaytonTotalHealth, where we talk about how to rewire your brain for optimal health and success. So whenever your health is compromised in any way, your body, and I think the universe or whatever you believe in is trying to teach you something. There's a lesson in there. There's a way to evolve. Actually, every area of your life, not only your health, but your wealth, your relationships, your career, it is there as a teacher. And so, for instance, with my sinus infection, my throat is killing me and I'm congested. And when you look it up, and who's a great resource for this is Louise Hay. So if you type in Louise Hay and what your injuries or illnesses mean, all of her stuff will come up. Louise Hay cured herself of cancer by identifying what was going on in her body and doing affirmations. But anyway, for me, she states that throat injuries and sinus infections are about like blocked creativity or not being able to say what's on your mind or being heard. And I've definitely had those two things happen last week with someone I just kept trying to communicate with on this like one thing, and they weren't seeing or hearing what I was saying, and they were, you know, in my perspective, being a little defensive. So we just had a hard time working through it. And then this creative thing, like I don't feel like creatively stifled, but I'm trying to organize all these ideas and get out all of my videos and all this content for you that I'm so excited to create. And it's just like, I got a little overwhelmed, so I'm not surprised at all. Plus that, and then I've been entertaining friends that were in town, and I've just been like running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So my body was like, first of all, relax. And second of all, like, you need to express what's been, repressed through this, ongoing conversation I've been having. So I'm not surprised, and I'm listening to my body, and I'm letting my body teach me what I need to focus on right now and what I need to heal from. And another great example is COVID. So if you get COVID, like many people have, it's just like, well, it's COVID, it's going around. And yes, it's going around. It's a very contagious thing. That's why it's a pandemic. But I have had many new clients through the pandemic that have gotten COVID and said, you know what, I got COVID, I thought I was going to die, I thought all these things were going to happen, and I really looked at my life and got a new perspective on things, and I want to do this differently. And it's basically in every area of their life, their health, their wealth, their career, their relationships, even their sense of like spirituality. They're like, everything has got to change. Having COVID made me realize that I really want to do things differently. And this also happens with injuries of any kind. They could be big or small, but for instance, I had a client who had a lot of unresolved grief. He could just not get there. He could not express the grief. And then he randomly got a lung injury. And where we express our grief is in our lungs. So I explained this to him. I'm like, I'm not surprised you got this lung injury. And he was just saying that he started like crying. And he's like, I don't know why I was crying, just all this like, and I go, because you've been needing to cry, and we've been talking about this for at least a year. And so he was finally able to go there. And then as he was healing his lung injury, he was able to heal what he needed to heal from a past relationship. Or you'll often hear about people getting knee and ankle injuries when they need to move on from something, or when they're literally moving from location to location. And again, going back to Louise Hay, who cured herself from cancer, not through any type of medical treatment, but by understanding that her body was still storing trauma from past sexual abuse. And she did this specifically by saying certain mantras to herself about herself and about her body and how she loved herself, and she imagined her body healing. Your mind is so powerful and has the power to heal your body. And Louise Hay is one of many people who has done that and inspired people or other people to do the same. So if you're really ready to heal from your illness or injury, especially if it's reoccurring, think about where it is in your body and what it's trying to teach you. And if it helps, you could look up the word psychological meaning of whatever you have, or metaphysical meaning of whatever it is you have, and get some information and see what resonates with you. And then from there, this is the most important part, imagine yourself healing. I like to use the Silva method around this. So what you want to think about is see, like in your mind's eye, close your eyes, and over to the right, you see yourself in your current condition. And then in the middle, you see some healing happen. And it could literally be like a ray of light coming down or some type of medicine, whatever works for you, but just see it in your mind like something healing you. And then on the left side, just a little bit over, you see yourself completely healed. That's one of the mini strategies in the Silva method. And another thing that I think is so important is to not give your illness or injury a lot of negative energy or over-identifying with it. Like meaning like, oh my God, I'm sick and it's never gonna get better and this is the most horrible thing, especially if it is something that is really serious. It's so tempting to do that, but you have to pull back and be like, okay, this is here to teach me something. What is it? And go into that space and be in a really thoughtful, curious, receptive space instead of a space of fear. Because when we give the energy, when we give energy, anything like a fear type of energy, then we just create more of it. So we're trying to learn from it and literally transmute that energy into healing. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. And let me know what your journey and your process with this is. Have you had an injury or illness or something happened to you that really shifted your perspective? Or are you starting this process of learning how to not view an illness or an injury as the enemy, but something to learn from? Let me know about that. And I will see you in the next video.